Chris Cornell's toxicology report shows he had a cocktail of strong sedatives and 4 Ativan pills in his system when he killed himself, as grieving wife says he had a moment of terrible judgment. Chris Cornell's toxicology report shows he had several prescription drugs in his system when he committed suicide in his Detroit hotel room last month. The toxicology report, obtained by TMZ on Friday, showed the Soundgarden frontman had traces of Naloxone, a narcotic overdose remedy, Butalbital, sedative, Lorazepam, Ativan, Pseudoephedrine, decongestant, and barbiturates in his system when he died. He had taken 4 1 mg Ativan pills, which is a prescription drug used to treat anxiety. His widow Vicky previously said Cornell's thoughts of self-harm may have been attributed to taking too many of the prescription drug Ativan. The traces of Naloxone in the rocker's body appeared to have been administered by EMTs in a bid to treat his overdose, and explains the 4 needle puncture wounds that were found on his left arm. In a statement following the release of the toxicology results, Vicky said, "Many of us who know Chris well, noticed that he wasn't himself during his final hours and that something was very off. We have learned from this report that several substances were found in his system. After so many years of sobriety, this moment of terrible judgment seems to have completely impaired and altered his state of mind. Something clearly went terribly wrong, and my children and I are heartbroken and are devastated that this moment can never be taken back." Vicky said on Thursday she was hoping the toxicology results would shed light on the circumstances around her late husband's apparent suicide. She said the rocker showed no signs of depression when she spoke to him during soundcheck and after his final show on May 18. When she spoke to him after the show, he told her he may have taken an extra Ativan or 2 and was slurring his words. Cornell was found dead hours later in his Detroit hotel room. A medical examiner ruled at the time that Cornell had hanged himself after he was found on his bathroom floor with a band around his neck. Cornell family attorney Kirk Passage had earlier said Detroit legal officials had denied his request for police and toxicology reports because the investigation remained open. Passage said the family had not seen any police or coroner's paperwork on the case, and the family remains mystified that the medical examiner announced a cause of death when the full autopsy report has not been completed. Cornell was found in the hotel room after his wife Vicky tried to reach him, but became concerned when he wasn't answering his phone. She called a family friend to check on him, according to Channel 4 Div Detroit. That friend had to force his way into Cornell's hotel room, in Detroit's MGM Grand, where he was pronounced dead at the scene. Cornell formed Soundgarden in 1984 with Hiro Yamamoto and Kim Thayil, which became one of the most famous grunge bands alongside Nirvana and Pearl Jam. In 2001, Cornell joined members of Rage Against the Machine to form Audioslave, which earned acclaim with its self-titled album that earned 3 platinum status. Cornell also had an extensive solo career as a singer, songwriter, guitarist, composer and lyricist, and worked with various other musicians over 3 decades in the music business. Chris was as melodic as the Beatles, as heavy as Sabbath and as haunting as Edgar Allan Poe, Morello, Cornell's Audioslave bandmate, said during his funeral. The demons he wrestled with were real, but he harnessed those demons and rode them like a mother-flipping chariot of lightning strapped with Marshall stacks to make some of the greatest rock and roll of all time.